Mohammed Bello.
Okay, I learned we have Mohammed Bello on the line now to give us reactions of the people with regard to the death of the Chief of Staff to the President.
All right. Hello, good morning, Mohammed Bello.
Good morning, Joy.
Yes, we're glad to have you on the news. So, talking about the development now on the news, the death of Abba Kyari. Can you give us your overview on this in regards to the death of Kyari?
Well, thanks, Joy. It is really a sad one. When the news broke, it was very early hours of the day, so to speak. And Ibadan is a big, massive forest city that also be on partial lockdown. When the chief of staff was taken to the hospital after contracting the COVID19, not much really was hard, but it was a discussion in a lot of media outlets there in Ibadan, radio, television, on the social media. If not anything, at that point in time, it actually drew the attention of everyday individual in Oyo State that, this might after all be a very serious matter. Not quite long after that, the governor, who has now tested negative at that time, actually tested positive. The awareness and community, was fighting for people to be aware. Here, I think will it be another impact on why the government is taking some stringent measures to ensure that this thing don't spread. But in the course of the day, the reporters really just getting the actual reactions of multiple individuals. But this is coming as a terrible fact. And wishing not anything, but you know that at the end of the day, people will know what it is so that they from this COVID-19. So far, a lot of reactions, more or less on the social media, where I belong, on the Twitter, on the WhatsApp, on Facebook,
Let's go back now to
All right, talking about the comments that you've seen on the Twitter handles and other new media, what do you think Nigerians, how do you think they feel, and what's the way forward as it is right now?
Come when it will come. But in the midst of this pandemic, and it has no social status, that is what it is doing. And the area in which, government apparatus are concentrating the NGOs is the fact that, for example, it's a massive, highly populated area, and the government is trying so much, they decided to increase the rate of testing now. And gradually they are thinking also that I guess we also do report certain government offices will be reopened gradually, for things to pick up. But it's obvious that we need to do what is necessary for this thing not to escalate beyond what we already have. Anywhere, major junctions, major areas in the Nigeria is market. You have hundreds of people buying and selling, trading outside the massive corporate offices that dotted the whole area and institutions. So it's highly populated area, and I think this part event will draw some conclusions that we need to actually abide by one of them to take place.
All right.
And of course the personal hygiene.
Thank you.
And then restrict your interaction with crowded areas and observe social distance.
All right, thank you so much, Malam Mohammed Bello, for being a part of the news.
And let's go back now to Abdurrahman Bayero in Kaduna.
Yes, actually the news is just breaking because the passing of the Chief of Staff to the President happened late in the night yesterday. And people are just waking up to the reality of the situation. many people received the news as a shock, and people are in grief. And some people that were doubting the reality of the COVID-19 situation really believe that this situation is a very serious one. The Chief of Staff has been seen as a very hard-working person, and people have been talking of his dedication to service and his role in the administration of this government. And those that have received the news have really received it in shock. And because people are anticipating that around this time they were expecting him to recuperate and return to work, because since the report came in that he was ill and he had COVID-19, he went into isolation. The news did not come out as to what the situation of his condition was. So people were expecting that he would be returning to office anytime from now. So it really came as a shock to the people of Kaduna State.
The former Chief of Staff was a man of many parts. How do you think he will be remembered, especially in government circles where he worked until his death?
Yes, those who know him and even his political opponents see him as a political engine that drove this administration from onset to date. And those close to him have seen him as a person who works 24/7, putting his all to the service of the nation. And so he will be remembered as a person who has worked hard to see the country progress. That is how people view the late Chief of Staff.
All right, we also have in the studio the Director General of the FRC and Mansur Liman, who Nigerians have woken up to the devastating story of the death of the Chief of Staff to the President. You've been following the development.
This is SARS-CoV-2. It belongs to the family of coronaviruses named for the crown-like spikes on their surfaces. SARS-CoV-2 can cause COVID-19, a contagious viral infection that attacks primarily your throat and lungs. What actually happens in your body when you contract the coronavirus? What exactly causes your body to develop pneumonia? And how would a vaccine work? The coronavirus must infect living cells in order to reproduce. Let's have a closer look. Inside the virus, genetic material contains the information to make more copies of itself. A protein shell provides a hard protective enclosure for the genetic material as the virus travels between the people it infects. An outer envelope allows the virus to infect cells by merging with the cell's outer membrane. Projecting from the envelope are spikes of protein molecules. Both a typical influenza virus and the new coronavirus use their spikes like a key to get inside a cell in your body, where it takes over the cell's internal machinery, repurposing it to build the components of new viruses. When an infected person talks, coughs, or sneezes, droplets carrying the virus may land in your mouth or nose and then move into your lungs. Once inside your body, the virus comes in contact with cells in your throat, nose, or lungs. One spike on the virus inserts into a receptor molecule on your healthy cell membrane like a key in a lock. This action allows the virus to get inside your cell. A typical flu virus would travel inside a sac made from your cell membrane to your cell's nucleus that houses all its genetic material. The coronavirus, on the other hand, doesn't need to enter the host cell nucleus. It can directly access parts of the host cell called ribosomes. Ribosomes use genetic information from the virus to make viral proteins, such as the spikes on the virus's surface. A packaging structure in your cell then carries the spikes in vesicles which merge with your cell's outer layer, the cell membrane. All the parts needed to create a new virus gather just beneath your cell's membrane. Then, a new virus begins to bud off from the cell's membrane. Now, with the virus spreading in your body, how can you develop pneumonia symptoms? For this, we'll have to look into your lungs. Each lung has separate sections called lobes. Normally, as you breathe, air moves freely through your trachea or windpipe, then through large tubes called bronchi, through smaller tubes called bronchioles, and finally into tiny sacs called alveoli. Your airways and alveoli are flexible and springy. When you breathe in, each air sac inflates like a small balloon. And when you exhale, the sacs deflate. Small blood vessels called capillaries surround your alveoli. Oxygen from the air you breathe passes into your capillaries, and then carbon dioxide from your body passes out of your capillaries into your alveoli so that your lungs can get rid of it when you exhale. Your airways catch most germs in the mucus that lines your trachea, bronchi, and bronchioles. In a healthy body, hair-like cilia lining the tubes constantly push the mucus and germs out of your airways, where you might expel them by coughing. Normally, cells of your immune system attack viruses and germs that make it past your mucus and cilia and enter your alveoli. However, if your immune system is weakened, like in the case of a coronavirus infection, the virus can overwhelm your immune cells, and your bronchioles and alveoli become inflamed as your immune system attacks the multiplying viruses. The inflammation can cause your alveoli to fill with fluid, making it difficult for your body to get the oxygen it needs. You could develop lobar pneumonia, where one lobe of your lungs is affected, or you could have bronchopneumonia that affects many areas of both lungs. Pneumonia may cause difficulty breathing, chest pain, coughing, fever and chills, confusion, headache, muscle pain, and fatigue. It can also lead to more serious complications. Respiratory failure occurs when your breathing becomes so difficult that you need a machine called a ventilator to help you breathe. These are the machines that save lives and that medical device companies currently ramp up production for. Whether you would develop these symptoms depends on a lot of factors, such as your age and whether you already have an existing condition. While this all sounds scary, the push to develop a coronavirus vaccine is moving at high speed. Studies of other coronaviruses led most researchers to assume that people who have recovered from a SARS-CoV-2 infection could be protected from reinfection for a period of time. But that assumption needs to be backed by empirical evidence, and some studies suggest otherwise. There are several different approaches for a potential vaccine against the coronavirus. The basic idea is that you would get a shot that contains faint versions of the virus. The vaccine would expose your body to a version of the virus that is too weak to cause infection, but just strong enough to stimulate an immune response. Within a few weeks, cells in your immune system would make markers called antibodies, which would be specific for only the coronavirus, or specifically its spike protein. Antibodies then attach to the virus and prevent it from attaching to your cells. Your immune system then responds to signals from the antibodies by consuming and destroying the clumps of viruses. If you then catch the real virus at a later stage, your body would recognize it and destroy it. In other words, your immune system is now primed. Collecting evidence on whether this will be possible, safe, and effective is part of what's taking researchers so long to develop a vaccine. It's a race against time to develop a vaccine amid a pandemic. Each step in vaccine development usually takes months, if not years. An Ebola vaccine broke records by being ready in 5 years. The hope here is to develop one for the new coronavirus in a record-breaking 12 to 18 months. While all of this will take time, stay home if you can, to protect the most vulnerable. And don't forget to wash your hands for at least 20 seconds and as often as possible. This video was a collaboration between Nucleus Medical Media and the What If channel, where we usually dive into hypothetical scenarios about the human body, humanity, our planet, and the cosmos. Check out our channel by visiting the link in the description below.